Alright my friends, it's Krebs here, we're playing some Space Engineers! Today, we are going to start off with this episode by showing off what could be inside the shrine. Oh shrine, what do you hold inside? What kind of unearthly divine, I don't even know, secrets do you hold inside? Oh, if I could just listen and hold my ear along the side of the door and just get a feeling of what's inside, oh shrine. You guys are probably dying to find out what's inside of the shrine. This isn't actually going to be the main... Oh, we're disoriented. This isn't going to be the main focus of today's video. Today's focus is going to be on heavy armor and realistic applications of heavy armor. But I'm going to show you guys what's inside the shrine first. I thought this would be more interesting to start the video in this way, because I'm sure you guys have seen stuff about heavy armor since it was released yesterday, and Krebs is just late on the bandwagon, but I bet you haven't seen what's hiding inside the shrine. So this gentleman over here, this community member, I'll link him in the description, has made something absolutely awesome. He's made a shrine, and it holds a sculpture of sorts. So we're gonna go check it out right now. Let's get out of here. And it's also made some really cool doors, as you're gonna see here in a second. Look at it! Look at it! Hold on. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil what's inside. Look at those doors. Yeah. It actually wouldn't be too hard to build that. I think what they've done is they've taken rotors and attached it to these large slabs, and then it just basically turns, and then they have limits that prevents them from going crazy directions and destroying themselves. So anyway, here we go! Oh my dear! It is freaking Buddha! It's Buddha! Hello, Mr. Buddha! How you doing in there? You look like a golden chicken nugget. Oh, Lord Savior Buddha. Take a look at this. I mean, okay, close up it doesn't look brilliant, but far away, come on, that just looks like Buddha. Somebody, if you're wondering how they done this, they took an asteroid and they carved it out to make it look like frickin' Buddha. I can't believe it. Like, I'm just flabbergasted by people's creations. It even has tits, for God's sake. Look at this thing. Fair enough, it doesn't have... Oh, no way. If you do look close, actually, they actually put in the details of the face. Like, here's the cheeks, and that's the nose, and this is the eyes. Over here, you can see them just a little bit. Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, so somebody's made freaking Buddha. And that is just amazing. The holy shrine of Buddha. Yes, could this be ushering an age of where people are going to start making sculptures in Space Engineers? This game, only in Space Engineers. Seriously, only in Space Engineers are you going to see stuff like freaking Buddha sculptures. I bet you somebody's going to make a giant penis in a future build. Oh, and before somebody starts making that, right away pauses the video and goes make it. So anyway, we're going to focus on heavy armor. Alright, so we're going to try out testing these heavy armors alongside the normal armors. We're going to try to make this a bit more on the realistic side of things. So we're going to test varying widths of heavy armor versus normal armor, and in fact we're going to do 5x5, we're going to do 3x5, and we're going to do 1x5 widths. So we're going to see how strong these sort of things are, and we're going to use the ballistics, so our Gatling guns, our rockets, and then we're going to actually try some cooler stuff. So how about ramming the things? What kind of potential damage will it do if you ram a ship into it? But I've also done something on the bit more practical side, and you know this default fighter that you get when you spawn in the game? Well, I've converted all the normal blocks to heavy armor, so we're going to see what it's like to actually shoot one of these things when it has heavy armor on it. So I've got my wee ship over here. We're going to use this as our test ship, and now we're going to go fly off over here, and I'll show you guys, or we could test out a little bit of this armor. So the first thing that I want to do is show you guys the Gatling gun on this thing over here. So we're going to try it out on the heavy armor, And the Gatling gun isn't actually going to do a whole lot of damage per se. It depends how much you actually hit the targets. But to be honest, see, this is what happens. So the Gatling gun actually does quite a bit of denting, even into heavy armor, which is surprising. Because on normal blocks, it does a lot of denting as well. In fact, a little bit more denting. But on heavy armor, that is actually quite a bit. Considering how rapid firing the Gatling gun is, that is quite a lot of denting. And in fact, let's just go test it on the bigger widths and see if it has the same effect. Oop, my aim is absolutely terrible. And it, yeah, pretty much looks like it's just about the same. But what we want to test out is the missiles. I think that's going to be more interesting. We've got the normal block set up on top, and we've got the harder one set up on the bottom. So we're going to test off by shooting the normal one and getting comparison here. So fire! Yeah, that is quite a lot of damage, and if that was on a ship, that would be major devastation. You'd have hull breach, space would be sucking out everything from your ships. Of course, that doesn't really happen at the moment, but that would be critical damage. A hull breach would be critical damage to a ship. That could destroy internals, let people access into ships and whatnot. That'd be pretty damn bad. Let's try this on heavy armor now. And that is quite a lot of damage as well, actually. That is quite a lot. So these are only one width big, or wide, these blocks here. So it's kind of safe to say if you build your ships, whether it's with normal blocks or heavy armor, and it's only one width wide, it's not going to be enough. Even with heavy armor, it's going to take a lot of damage. Now, let's try it with 3 blocks thick. Here we go. This is normal armor. And we did quite a bit of damage. It didn't actually get all the way through. As you can see, it went quite deep. But what we should maybe try to do is see how many shots it's going to take to actually penetrate inside. So let's aim for right in the middle again. Boom! Oh, that's second volley and still hasn't destroyed it. Third one is access. So it almost feels like each volley counts for one layer of blocks. Let's try this with heavy armor now. Boom. That was quite a lot of damage. Boom. Again, quite a lot of damage. And boom. Yeah, I'm kind of starting to think, like, what is up with this heavy armor? It doesn't seem like the heavy armor is actually doing a whole lot to protect against ballistics here. Let's try this with 5 blocks now. Normal armor. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we have penetration. So again, going with the theory that 1 block thick, each volley takes out 1 block of thickness. Let's try this now with the heavy armor. 1, 2, 3, and a little bit lower. 4. Ooh! Wow! Do you see that? It actually looks like it took only 4 shots. Maybe it's because I adjusted my fire there. But on the heavy armor, it took 4 shots? Maybe that's just a random occurrence. Maybe it'd be anywhere 4, 5, 6, something like that, just depending where you shoot. But oh man. Yeah, we got right through that thing, and it seems like heavy armor doesn't actually really act a whole lot like heavy armor at the moment, does it? Okay, so now we're gonna try the ramming part, and we're gonna see how it's gonna be more on a practical setting of what happens when your ship, whether it has heavy armor or normal armor, what is it gonna be like when it gets rammed by another spacecraft. Now, mind you that these are light fighters that we're using, and it might be a whole different sort of thing if you're using, you know, like a giant ship. But I've tried to make them just about equidistant, so that we have about the same speed when we impact onto these surfaces. It's about there, it's about equidistant. So we're gonna first start off with the 1 block thick over here. And ramming speed, here we go. Keep in mind of the speed in the bottom right. Yeah, that looks like not a lot of penetration. And actually, what the hell is going on? Because it looks like we just penetrated the block below. What the fuck? I don't even know how to explain that. So we crashed into the block up here and we destroyed that block down there. Seems legit. I have a feeling what might have happened was a part might have come flying off the ship and went flying down into there, I guess. So that has just pretty much wrecked our experiment of the fighters. So we're gonna try this 3-block thickness and see what happens. Oh wow, okay, I think this is a bit of a better test. Yeah, we went straight through near enough. Almost completely straight through. I'm actually surprised. It seems like one block thick is actually the supreme candidate over 3 blocks. Something doesn't seem too right there. I think we'd have to try that one again. Or you'd have to try it again. Now we're going to try some heavy armor and see if we can get through. Here we go, ramming speed, and boom! Yeah, we tried. But it looks like we pretty much just deflected off of that. Wow. Wow. In fact, so much so that this heavy block took no damage at all. That is surprising. Now we're gonna try with the 5-block thick, and I imagine we're gonna get similar results, at least I think so, as the 3-block thick one. Here we go. Ooh, I'm not sure if we'll penetrate though with the 5-block thick normal blocks. And in fact, it looks like we almost did. Actually, it seems like we did penetrate. Albeit a small portion of it. We did penetrate a small portion though, but not completely, not a clean hole right on through. Yeah. So 5-block thick with the normal block seems to be almost enough sufficient to keep back a fighter from ramming speed, depending on how fast you go. Here's the heavy armor on the 5-block thick, and wow, it looks like nothing happened. To be honest, the 3-block thick one looks better than the 5-block thick, and I think this is all just down to random occurrence, depending on, I don't know, just various factors of how you angle the spacecraft, your fighter or whatever, and how fast it's going, and where you hit exactly. The 5-block one is dented, not even close to anything being destroyed though. But on the 3-block one, this looks like it's pretty damn unscathed. It'd be interesting to see how a 1-block and a 2-block would be like. And actually, we can test this out. We can see what a 1-block thick heavy armor would be like by going over to this over here. Now, we're not gonna have our speeds perfect, and there's a hole actually right behind this block. I have a feeling that the first spaceship I used sent a lot of projectiles out. Alright, so here we go. Mind you, our speed might not be like the other tests. Oop, we just went flying into it, and ta-da! Yeah, 1 block thick of heavy armor, protected against ramming speed of the fighter. It just seems like through our tests we've come to realize that the ballistic, so your missile launcher for example, is pretty much the same on all of the blocks, whether they're normal or heavy, and that might just be because they need to tweak around with the damage models. And I think that's actually one of the things they're going to be working on in the next patch, is just the damage models of the weaponry. But when it comes to actual physical damage from, say, rammings, yeah, 1 block thick with the heavy armor seems to hold out quite well. Now, before we finish off this video, what we're going to try now is a practical setting of, say, a normal fighter versus a heavily armored fighter. And what we're going to do is we're going to fly the fighters into each other, because what we realized is that the heavy armor and normal armor at the moment, it have no effect. There's no difference between them when you're using Gatling guns or rocket launchers. So we're gonna try ramming them into each other. Mind you that one's gonna be stationary, but here we go. Let's try ramming into it. Boom! Just like that. It's not perfectly clean, but we're gonna try this again. And I'm hoping that we can destroy our cockpit. And we'll see how much damage these things have taken. Here we go. And boom. Again. Alright. So, I don't think we're gonna destroy this thing anytime soon. The heavy armor one. But let's take a quick damage comparison. And see what kind of effects we had. Alright, so here we go. Let's take a look out here. Okay. I think we can tell quite a bit of a difference, actually. The normal ship, you can see it's crumpled in quite a bit more, all the way almost to the engines, whilst here, with the heavy armor, it's still sticking out quite a bit. Alright, so that's kind of not that surprising, to be honest. It's sticking out quite far. So it shows that the heavy armor has structural integrity. Some of it did actually collapse in, but there's nowhere near as much damage as with this ship over here, the normal blocks. And that's kind of important, because imagine, if you will, if in between these sections of the heavy blocks you've got components mixed in, critical components for flight in your spacecraft, like, you know, gyroscopes and reactors. Like, for example, right here, these need to be protected, and the heavy armor does a good job, whereas over here we lost a gyroscope. We still got our reactors, but we lost a gyroscope, and now definitely you might feel that in spacecraft, especially if you start losing more and more of them. So yeah, there we go. Alright, Buddha. Where's Buddha? So we got to see Buddha. We got to see heavy armor. I think you guys have to be happy with that. There's nothing more you could ask for in a video. Testing out of heavy armor and seeing Buddha. Alright guys, so we're gonna leave that now for now, and until next one, this is Krebsy, and I'll catch you guys later.